No, we've always been a fairly happy, mind your own business community.
Mary Tabachi has lived in Cayuga Heights for 35 years. She and her late husband, Guy, bought their house from the niece of famed naturalist John Muir.
And part of our agreement when we purchased it from her was that we would protect the wildlife on that property.
Deer overpopulation has been a concern in Cayuga Heights for over a decade. The village says they have a conservative estimate of 200 deer in less than 2 square miles that make up the village.
When we first moved to this house, we would see 1 or 2 deer a couple times a week. Now we see them every day, and we've had as many as 20 or more just lying in our backyard. So it's grown exponentially.
Most in the community agree that a herd that large in such a small area is a problem. But there is some controversy about how Mayor Kate Supron plans to solve it.
On some issues, you can just kind of say, well, you know, we disagree on this. But on this particular issue, it's that, you know, we're bloodthirsty sadists, and they portray it that we're trying to kill all the deer.
The plan proposed by Supron calls for about 20 does to be captured and sterilized, and the killing of up to 85 deer.
We have permission from the state to do that. We've changed our weapons discharge law to allow that to happen, but we cannot discharge a weapon anywhere in the village unless we have permission of every landowner within 500 feet of the discharge site. We don't know whether we'll get that.
When a lawsuit filed by opponents of the deer culling program here in Cayuga Heights was thrown out by the New York State Supreme Court, they filed an injunction. A decision will be made on that injunction at the end of the month. If the injunction is lifted, part of the village's plan is to contract sharpshooters from a nonprofit wildlife management organization to thin the herd. The idea of shooters in their village makes some residents uneasy.
I'm afraid of guns. I'm afraid of sharpshooters who might mean well and have something to do as contracted by the village.
If gunshots are being fired, even by someone who's a great marksman, they don't always hit the mark.
Two communities that border Cayuga Heights, Lansing and Cornell University, have active deer culling programs. Dr. Jay Bolanger runs the deer management program at Cornell. He says the program there has been effective, but there is no one-size-fits-all method for controlling deer overpopulation.
How a municipality generally decides on what techniques to use for deer mitigation ultimately is going to depend on the tolerance and the political will of that municipality.
The political will of the village will be tested when residents vote on March 20th to either keep Mayor Supron or elect new leadership. Reporting from Cayuga Heights, Tad Dixon, NCC News.